Once you have a good understanding of Medicare supplements and Medicare Advantage plans and how they differ, and it's very important that you do understand that before this presentation, it can be useful in deciding which one is best for you by looking at the cost comparison. Now, keep in mind that there are a lot of advantages and disadvantages to each, uh, so there's more to understand than just the cost. But today we're just going to look at the cost with this illustration. So we look at the best and worst case scenario for an Advantage plan versus a Medicare supplement as far as what it costs you. And by best and worst case scenario, I'm talking about your medical bills and your health, because we don't have a crystal ball to look into the future and know what your health or your medical bills are going to look like next year. So we're going to start with an Advantage plan, and we're going to speak in very general terms. And again, generally speaking, if you have Medicaid, this video won't apply to you because you're most likely going to be in a Medicare Advantage plan. So looking at Advantage plans, again, they vary widely from zip code to county, and state to state. We're going to speak in general terms, and generally speaking, there are a lot of Advantage plans that cost you $0 per month. So we'll make that assumption here. You're paying nothing for the Advantage plan times 12 months. Obviously, you paid zero. This is what we call a best case scenario. You didn't go to the doctor even one time in that year when you had this Advantage plan. You paid $0. With an Advantage plan, you do pay along the way. You have co-pays and co-insurance, deductibles, that sort of thing. So a worst case scenario is when you had extreme medical bills. Let's say they were $50,000 or $100,000. You're protected by something called a maximum out of pocket. And what that means is, and we're going to choose one that's kind of middle of the road for South Central Missouri. They vary widely, again, from state to state. You might have one that's $3,500. You might have one that's $8,000. But the maximum out of pocket protects you in those catastrophic years. So what this means is, in a very, very bad year with your health, $5,000, once you've paid that out of pocket, which is really a lot of money for a lot of people, that's all you pay. That's your worst case scenario. $0 is when you didn't go to the doctor at all. And that's your best case scenario. Generally, you'll be somewhere in between. Now let's look at those two with a Medicare supplement. And for this illustration, I'm going to talk about something called Plan G, which for most people right now is what we call a Cadillac plan. It's the best one that you can get. And we're going to choose an arbitrary price, something that's kind of on the lower end for a Plan G for someone about age 65 in my area in Missouri. We're going to say about $150 per month. And that can be lower, just depends on the company. And that's your monthly premium that you pay for that Plan G. Multiply that times 12 because you do pay it every month. That's all you pay. You'll spend $1,800 for that Medicare supplement. This is a best case scenario. You don't go to the doctor one time. You have this Plan G, you're going to pay $150 per month. I'll explain why that can be a good thing in just a moment. Now, this is your best case scenario. What's a worst case? With a Plan G, the only thing it doesn't cover is your Medicare Part B deductible, which this year, 2022, is $233. Once you've paid that yourself out of your pocket, the plan pays everything else, and you don't see any medical bills. So you spent a total of $2,033 for all of your health care in a worst case scenario. So best case is this, worst case is this. And in this scenario, obviously, the 2,000 is better than the 5,000. There are several factors that can make those numbers flip. For example, if you have a lower max out of pocket over here, and over here, let's say that you're a smoker, your rates are going to be higher. You might be paying more for that. So there are situations, many situations, where those numbers can flip, and a Medicare Advantage is a better option for you than a supplement. For some people, it's an easy decision when they say, you know what, I can't afford $2,000 a year or $150 a month, so I'm going to choose this one and take my chances. For some people, they would rather have the security of knowing this is all I pay, and then this, and everything else is covered. It's a no-brainer for them. The thing to remember is when you first are eligible for Parts A and B, that's the time when you can get a Medicare supplement locked in with no health questions asked. So that may be a better option for someone if you can afford it, because it's going to pay everything for you other than the first $233. Later in life, if your health takes a turn for the worse, you may not be able to get a supplement because it's medically underwritten, whereas an Advantage plan is not. I hope this helps.